Hi, this is Kevin. Welcome to my tutorial on how to read a final assignment grading feedback report. So I have two kinds, two groupings of assignments in my course: practice assignments and final assignments. Um, this is a tutorial about final assignments. So if you're looking for the one about practice assignments, please go find that. Okay, so what are final assignments? Well, they're typically term papers and final projects. Okay. Um, in this tutorial here, I'm going to be showing you the feedback reports that I was able to generate from a final project from my IS 430 Python programming course. And that's as of the summer of 2022 when I'm recording that. Now, on my practice assignments, I sometimes offer grading deals. Okay. In my final assignments, no grading deals. Okay. So you must earn every point on a final assignment. And this is a big difference. So I like to point that out as early as I can. Let's kind of talk through some scenarios about how a student might have scored on a final project in this IS 430 course. And I'm going to walk you through the grading feedback report for each of the scenarios and kind of explain the implications of the scenario. Okay, so the first scenario I'm going to do, this is a feedback report for test student, and they handed in their work late and they didn't do the challenge part of the assignment. Okay, so you'll remember that in these documents, and that includes both the grading rubrics and the feedback forms. They're divided up into sections, and the sections are represented by this kind of light gray-green box. Okay, and then within a section you have one or more items, and the items are represented by these darker gray-green boxes. So here, the first section that we have is submission, and the items are timeliness and file submitted. Okay, and we can see that for submission, the timeliness, there were 10 available points. Okay. Uh, if you met all the requirements, then you will not have a miss requirements box. Okay, in this case, the student was late. So having something here under missed requirements is saying that there's going to be a deduction. What percentage of credit are we giving? 0, because it was late, and that was the grade indicated in the rubric for late. So it's 0 of 10 available points, or in the third box, 0 points. In the file submitted item, we don't have a box for missed requirements because the student met all the requirements. So the percent credit is 100 for meets all expectations, and all 10 points were awarded. Okay. Then we get into the work itself. Okay. In this particular final project, there are 8 exercises. Okay. And each of the exercises is represented in the grading by a section, and there are 2 items for each. Completeness, which has about half of the points, and a technique which has about the other half of the points. Um, uh, in this case, the student has um, the student has met all the expectations. If they got 100% of the credit, they earned all 2 points for completeness and 100% for technique, so all 3 points for technique. This is a regular exercises, which means you have to do the regular exercises if you want a chance to score 95. Okay, so all of the exercises in the final project here are regular, except for the last one, number 8 is a challenge, and that's how you earn the last 5 points that could get you above 95 on up to 100. So in this case, the student has, again, they had it in late. They did okay on the file. They met all of the requirements for exercises 1 through 7, including completeness and techniques. So they did a very good job of the work that they handed in. And so in each of these, they're getting all the points. Nothing really changes until we get down to exercise 8, which is the challenge exercise, and they did not submit it. Okay, so they got 0 credit for completeness, 0 credit for technique. Okay. There's an overall comment that says good work on this project. And the total points are 85. Okay, well, if this is good work, why is this an 85? Well, if you meet all the requirements, okay, on all the regular exercises and you hand it in on time and you do a good job on the file, you'll score 95, okay, because you don't do the challenge. All right. Now, if you're late and you lose 10, that brings you down to 85. So even though the student did a great job of all the work that they handed in, they get an 85. Primarily, this is a problem with the lateness. So if it looks like you're going to be late and you think you have an appropriate excuse for being late, you need to contact me and get an extension. There's not a lot of days for extensions and final assignments because the deadline for us having to submit your grade to the university is very, very short. But there is time, and if you qualify, you're definitely going to want to contact me. Okay? So let's look at scenario 2. Scenario 2 is late, a bad file, and good work, except that this student did not submit the challenge. So again, it's only the requirements that you missed that are turning up here. There is a fourth box that can show up if we have something to say about your work in this item, and we're not able to say capture it with a missed requirement. We'll add a comment, and there'll be a comment box that will show up as a fourth box. So we missed the timeliness. We got 0 points. We lost 10. We missed the file submitted. We got 0 points. We lost 10. So we've lost 20 points here. And the feedback for exercises 1 through 7, the student did an excellent job. Got all of the credit for all the parts of exercises 1 through 7. Really did a fine job. Okay. We get down to exercise 8, the challenge. They did not submit that. Okay. Okay, so what's the comment? Well, good work again, because work that was handed in was certainly good work, but what's the total score? 75. Okay, because if the student did not submit the challenge, that gave them a 95 if they got everything else. Uh, they were late and they botched the file. So 10 points for the late and the file, 20 down from 95, that's 75. So the lateness in the file are drastic, okay? So you're going to want to make sure that you leave time to get this in on time, and you're going to want to make sure you follow every direction with regard to the file that you're handing in. Okay, let's look at scenario 3. Okay, so here's a student who was on time. They had a good file, but they didn't do the challenge. Okay. And so let's see, they get all the points for timeliness, that's 10. All the points for file submitted, that's another 10. On the regular exercises 1 through 7, they get all the credit because they did a super job on all of that. Okay. And we get down through exercise 7, we're earning all the points. But then we get to the challenge exercise, and they decided they weren't going to submit that. So 0 points for the challenge. Okay. Overall comment on the project, good work on the project. The total points 95. So this is, kind of the main scenario case. Okay, you don't do the challenge. You do all of the other regular exercises. You do a super job. You get all the points. You hand it in on time. You get credit for the file. 95. Okay. Good solid A. Okay, let's look at the next one. Well, the next one is just the same, but they did the challenge and they got all the points on the challenge. This is really a great feedback form. So all the points for timeliness, all the points for the file. And then on all of the exercises, the 7 regular ones and the challenge, they earned all the points. Okay. So if we go all the way down to the bottom, we have an overall comment, great work on this project, 100 points. Okay, so the only way to get from a 95 to a 100 is to do the challenge and to get all the points on the challenge. So the grading goals for the course and the grading goals for a final project are this. If you meet all the expectations, you're going to get a 95. If you go the extra distance and you do the challenge, you have the possibility of earning up to 5 more points, which it could get you 96, 97, all the way up to 100. Okay, which would be 97 and above is an A+. So people do very favorably in my courses. People getting 95 on a final project, quite a few people do. They get, that's the equivalent of a good solid A. The number of people who get 97 through 100 on a final project, just a few. Okay, just a few A pluses, a lot of A's. Okay, so let's look at the 2 final scenarios are where things went wrong. Okay, now it's possible to be late and to mess up the file and to have things go wrong. I decided to not do scenarios on that. So I've got two problem scenarios. Problem scenario one is you turn it on time, you did okay with the file, but you have some problems. Not horrible problems, but problems. So earned all the points for timeliness, earned all the points for the file submitted. Okay. Exercise one, have some problems. Okay. Uh, missed requirement under completeness, results must be formatted as expected. Small formatting errors will typically get you a 90 and nearly meets expectations. So they earn 1.8 of the 2 points. Okay. Under technique, what did they miss? They had some warnings from the PEP 8 style guide that they never resolved. Again, a couple of warnings from the PEP 8 style guide unresolved will typically get you a 90, nearly meets expectations. So again, they've earned 2.7 of the 3 available points. Okay. On exercise 2, same scenario, 90 and 90. Okay, so not earning all the points, but not doing too badly. Exercise 3, same thing, 90 and 90. Okay, a little bit different errors. Exercise 4, in terms of the completeness, a 90. In terms of the technique, a 75. Two small problems and one larger problem. Meets most expectations, but 75. Exercise 5, didn't have all the results that we expected, got us 75% of that. One small problem on the technique, got a 90 there. Exercise 6, the completeness, met all the expectations. The technique, one small problem, got a 90. Exercise 7, formatting problem again, got a 90. And then on the technique, PEP 8 style errors, got a 90. Okay, number 8, the challenge, did not submit the challenge. And so they have an 87. Okay, so a good strong 87. Could they have done better? Yeah, they could have done better. But you can still have some trouble and come out with an 87. Now, the final scenario I'm going to go through is certainly not the doomsday scenario. That's when you turn in late, don't turn in a good file and have many problems. So this is turn it on time, have a good file, but have many problems. So the submission, they got all 20 points. But as we get down into the exercises, we've got bigger problems. So we're only getting a 50% for completeness, 90% for technique, and then on number 2, 90% for completeness, 75% for technique, and there's just more problems here consistently through. And then we get down to exercise 8, and they do not submit exercise 8, the challenge. And what do we get? Well, if you have some significant problems, even if you handle it on time and you don't mess up the file, you can still wind up with 66. So you really need to be careful on these final assignments, right? Um, you really, you need to be sure that you hand them in on time. If you have a reason for an extension, that you apply for that. That you follow the directions with respect to the file that you submit, and that you're very careful for in the work that you do with respect to the completeness and the technique. Okay, and as you can see here, you have to earn every point. There are no grading deals. So I'm going to wish you luck on your final assignment, and I'll say bye until next time. Bye bye.